Tesla stock is up over 4.5% at the time of recording this video. What's going on today? What do you need to know? And what is your Tesla stock breaking news today? In fact, there's actually a bunch of breaking news, so we're going to dive straight into this video. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel because it's free 99 and costs you absolutely nothing to do so. And not because I asked to, but because Emerson asked to. Ain't that right? Ain't that right? So I actually want to start with what Franz just said at this little conference that was held, I believe, at Texas. Not 100% sure, but I believe Texas. And yeah, I think Wall Street could be dead wrong all the way around when it comes to the $25,000 vehicle, according to what he is saying.
What's happening with the $25,000 car? Is it canceled? Is it just deprioritized? Has it been delayed? There was a lot of confusion on Friday, and we saw Elon's tweet in response, but that just created more confusion. And I know there's been back and forth on this from the Walter Isaacson book, but I think investors and consumers would love to know if the $25,000 car is dead or just on the back burner.
I would just say stay tuned. Don't always believe in what you read.
That's a pretty good sign. The consumer variant of the Model 2 is still coming, and let's be honest, there was never plans for mass production in Giga Texas, so we know when mass production is going to start. Whenever Giga Mexico is done. So who knows exactly what that timeline is, but the Model 2 is still very much coming. Just the first Model 2s that are produced in Giga Texas, they're likely to be Robotaxis instead of consumer Model 2s. I don't know about you guys, but I would rather have 100,000 Robotaxis out on the road a year and a half from now rather than 100,000 Model 2s out on the road. I think what's actually going on right now, and it's very fascinating, and you'll know a little bit more why I'm saying this here in just a moment. But it seems like all of the bearish analysts, they're trying to justify being bearish after this Robotaxi announcement. And it's actually laughable. Example number one. This comes from Bernstein. They say, quote, "We see a Robotaxi unveiling on August 8th as more aspirational, akin to Tesla's Semi and Roadster announcements, and not likely to be Tesla's next model. We only expect competitors' offerings to get better over the next 3 years. BYD currently offers a $15,000 sedan, the Quinn Plus, that has a 250-mile range and is bigger than the Model 3. They reiterate their underperform with a $120 price target." To me, that sounds like a lot of speculation and, well, making assumptions, maybe you could say. Who even asked about the Quinn Plus? I mean, you're just trying to justify good news and turn it into bad news. And you're seeing this from many different analysts today. Even Morgan Stanley today says not long ago, Tesla CEO Elon Musk expected to grow volumes by a compound annual growth rate of 50% through the decade. Fast forward to today, and unit volume is down nearly double digits year over year in Q1 and will likely fall for the remainder of the year. In coming quarters, our $100 bear case may be in play. They reiterate their overweight rating with a $310 price target. Now, I want to read you a very bullish perspective on this as well from Canaccord Genuity analyst Giannis. He says Tesla is increasingly a bet on autonomy. 44,000 people died in the US in 2023 in car accidents. That's 44,000 too many, and it's getting worse, and people are running more red lights than ever. Road rage is on the rise. What will it take for many of us to stop resisting autonomous vehicles and cheer them? He says, "We, for our part, are autonomy Uber bulls. Unabashed and unrelenting. We believe autonomous vehicles are set to increase resource utilization, improve productivity, save lives, and much more. We see vehicle autonomy as one of the highest value creating technologies to be deployed ever. Full autonomy not only has the potential to improve resource utilization, the key underlying tenet of sustainability, but also to enhance human productivity, decongest highways, downsize vehicle fleets, provide transport to billions of underserved, and save lives. Big stuff. Yes, the technology needs to get better and or cheaper, and regulatory needs to be clarified. But despite failed promises, autonomy is well well on its way. It's all happening somewhat slowly relative to previously missed timelines, and then will likely happen all at once, at least in terms of the public's willingness to let go of the wheel and the technology's ability to make it happen. And some of the biggest news of the day today, Tesla is now recruiting prototype vehicle operators across the US. And when I say across the US, like literally everywhere. You have Miami, Florida here, Littleton, Colorado, Bellevue, Washington, Draper, Utah, Jacksonville, Florida, Houston, Texas, Minnesota, Illinois, Massachusetts, Virginia, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Kansas, another area in Texas. This is not just one job posting, this is quite a few different job postings. Operators will do the following. Number 1, operation of vehicles for data collection. Number 2, provide feedback, suggest directions for improvement. Number 3, look at the observations and related problems. And number 4, ensure vehicle is correct and functioning well. We think this is specifically in regards to the Robotaxi. From my understanding, this is directly related to the Robotaxi network, as that is the next vehicle that is coming for Tesla. And the next vehicle that will have a prototype. If only we could start getting some leaked images on the Robotaxi like we got of the Cybertruck. That would be pretty cool. And if you're really curious to why Tesla stock is up 5% today, well, Tesla North America posted this picture of the Cybertruck next to the Wall Street Bull. I mean, that's bullish. That's bullish, I can't lie. Tesla AI tech lead / manager says, as of March 2024, our end-to-end neural net-based driving policy, FSD supervised, has been deployed to 2 million vehicles in the US, and rest of the safety plus autopilot software stack is running on 6 million vehicles globally. According to Autoblog.com, the base GMC Hummer EV2 is reportedly dead for the planned 2025 launch year, so that is being extended out. Elon Musk says, I don't think I manage smart people. They manage themselves. It's very rare for me to insist on a particular thing. And do you want to hear the most wild take on Tesla stock that you're ever going to hear? Take a look at this. A noted Tesla bear says Musk's EV maker could go bust, and the stock is worth $14. He says that's because Tesla's going to bring in about $1.40 of EPS for 2024, and Tesla should only be valued at about 10 times next year's earnings. So that would put you at about $14 per share. In fact, Lakander, a hedge fund manager, that said this, he's been shorting Tesla stock since 2020. How did that work out for you? He says this was really the beginning of the end of the Tesla bubble, which probably arguably was the biggest stock market bubble in modern history. Quote, I actually think the company could go bust. I love reading bearish takes like that. I just love it, because if people are all bullish, if everyone's super bullish, then there's probably not a lot of money to be made in the stock. That's the way that I like to think about things, and that has served me well over time. Right now, I see way more bearish analysts and commentary from big money. That tells me there is, well, a lot of room for upside in Tesla stock. And it's not even like retail is super bullish either. Retail is still pretty dang bearish. And you can see here on StockTwits today, Tesla is up about 5.2%. Sentiment is neutral at 50. Yesterday it was at 48, which was also neutral. But virtually no rise in sentiment on this 5% move. I take that as a contrarian indicator, as well, Tesla stock could rally a lot more from here. Message volume today is a little bit higher than yesterday. Today it's normal at 51. Yesterday it was low at 40, so there's more people talking about Tesla. Slightly, but not, there's not a lot of people talking about Tesla. And the participation ratio is sitting at 56, which is about 1 point higher than where it has been. Google Trends data for full self-driving going back to the initiation of full self-driving as a technology is by far at its highest level. The data is not finalized yet for the month of April, but the data that we have so far shows full self-driving is likely around 100, which isn't a big surprise again, but it's good that more people are talking about full self-driving. And inevitably, I think you're going to see search trend activity stay higher for FSD than where we kind of were at before, right? In the 15, 18, 20 range, you're probably going to stay in the 40, 50, 60 range for FSD, which could be a good bellwether to show us kind of adoption rates after this trial is over with. Google Trends data for the Tesla lineup currently is impressive, just outright impressive, especially the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck recently went from 43 to 45. That's insane. This purple line here, Tesla's Cybertruck is the most searched about product as far as recently, which is just crazy to even think of. The Model Y went from 36 to 37. The Model X went from 11 to 10, so slightly downwards looking there. The Model S went from 15 to 14, so also looking slightly downwards. And the Model 3 went from 34 to 33, and that's about one tick lower as well. But the Model Y and the Cybertruck continuing to ramp up, and really the Model 3 has been ramping up as well in search trend activity, just today taking a little bit of a breather. Global inventory numbers for the Model Y falling from about 10,000 down to about 9,100, so a downtick of about 800 or so Model Ys in inventory. Model X is also falling quite a bit from 2,500 down to 2,100. The Model 3 is ramped up a little bit recently. I would say that's a little bit of good news because the Model 3 has been so low. Maybe you're starting to see more Model 3s actually being produced. I think you just weren't seeing as many Model 3s being produced, and the backlog is a couple of months on those Model 3s. So they're basically sold as soon as they are built. The Model S inventory numbers have also jumped as well to about 1,200. Tesla, maybe they've found their sweet spot in advertising, currently running about 4,000 different ads with Google. As you can see here, put to call ratios are rocketing to the highest level you have seen in a long time for Tesla, which is basically at a 1-to-1 ratio. So one call for one put that's held on the options chain, which is historically pretty bearish for Tesla. Now, here on the day today from hedge funds and institutions, you have seen 757 orders totaling $230 million with a positive order value of 43%. And it looks like shorts continue to short more Tesla shares, with the cost to borrow fee today at about 8.6%. That's pretty dang high. Okay, that's suggesting there's a lot of demand to short Tesla stock today. You do have 3.71% short interest of free float, with about $17 billion currently sold short and almost 103 million shares that are currently sold short. Tesla stock today is up almost $9. Simple math says for every $10 Tesla stock goes higher from here, short sellers lose about $1.03 billion. So today, they just lost about $900 million, and you're only up 5%. Tesla stock could continue to rally from here. Then the shorts are in big trouble. We do also have the start of earnings season this week. You do have Tilray, Aher Test Systems, WD-40, a couple other notable names like Delta, CarMax, Constellation Brands. That's really going to be tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. The official start of earnings season usually starts with the banks, and that's what we get on Friday. Friday pre-market, we get JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, Citi, Progressive, and State Street. If the banks have bad earnings, it doesn't necessarily mean the markets have to fall, but it's going to say that consumers probably not in the greatest position. So I think that could be a decently large catalyst to be watching coming at the end of this week. What's really fascinating about today is the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow. They're not doing much of anything, but the Russell 2000 is up 0.64%. But take a look at that. Who cares, right? That doesn't mean anything in and of itself. but bond yields are up 5 basis points today on the 10-year Treasury. Normally, when Treasury yields are up 5 basis points or more in a single day, which is a pretty large historical move for one single day, the Russell is not the outperformer. I mean, the Russell is outperforming the NASDAQ by like 6 times. That's insane, and that's worth noting. I think some of it could have to do with the inflation report coming out on Wednesday. For any logical individual, for anyone that has any lick of knowledge on our markets, you can sit here and say the ISM services prices collapsed for the month of March. This tends to follow inflation, right? This gray line is month over month core PCE, and the blue line is ISM services prices. You're now lower than where you were in December of 2019, right? Pre-Roni Rona, you were at 59.8 points, and now you're at 53.4 points. Inflation is going to plummet, okay? And that's probably going to be picked up on in this CPI report on Wednesday. That would cause the Russell to outperform. That would cause stocks like Tesla to also outperform. Maybe you're getting some people that are front running that getting into their positions now, which is probably not a terrible idea. I don't want to say it's a guaranteed win because we don't know what inflation is going to be like, but all signs point to a very light inflation report. That's for sure. Now, what's actually interesting about today as well, you're no longer pricing in the first cut in June. You're now pricing in the first rate cut in July. And yeah, this could also get the markets moving quite a bit. If Wednesday's inflation report comes in light, then people are going to say, maybe we should get a cut in June. Hell, maybe even May, if inflation comes in really low. The percent of stocks today above their 50-day moving average is up about 5.39%. Almost 3% of stocks are breaking above their 50-day moving average today. And this chart kind of just shows what the average stock has been doing for a while now. Ever since really February, the average stock has been really just trading in a range. You're not seeing the average stock breaking out. You're also not seeing the average stock collapsing as well, represented here by the percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average. The last pretty aggressive broad-based rally we had was November through late December, when you peaked out December 28th with 86.5% of stocks above their 50-day moving average. That was a strong rally to the upside. You could start something similar if inflation does come in lower than expected on Wednesday. Tesla stock on a technical basis is in a very weird situation because, I mean, you need to really get above 177 for things to look really good from here. If not, you're just going to trade between like 155. Well, 160 has served as a lot of support, but this trend line now is trending down to about 157 in all fairness. Give it a couple of days, you're going to be down to about 156 or 155. So that's where you're targeting really on the low side, with 160 being a strong level of support as well. And look at all of these lines to the upside. There's a lot of resistance in here. It wouldn't surprise me if Tesla even gapped up on better than expected, CPI numbers, on earnings. I mean, there is a lot more positive things coming for Tesla, I believe, over the next couple of weeks. And I think this could, again, be one of the last great buy the dip opportunities for Tesla stock. And I do believe this is a moment in which you will, look back 20 years from now and say, damn, it was right in my face and I missed it. Like the iPhone, like Amazon, like Google, or any other, company that you knew about, didn't invest in, and missed out in. So, with that said, let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Tesla, even after today's 5.3% gainer we're seeing right now, the RSI is still at 47.16. So you're still not even neutral as far as Tesla. You're still slightly bearish. You're still slightly negative as far as relative strength. So there's a lot of room on that metric for Tesla stock to go higher. The MACD line is also negative 4.5, and the signal line is negative 5. So just to get back to positive, yeah, you could see quite a large rally on your hands. So if you can't tell, I'm pretty bullish. I think there's logical reasons to be bullish, But there's other factors and variables that I cannot account for, like if Elon and Tesla want to cut prices. They could do that at any time, and I wouldn't have a heads up on that. So I'm doing what I'm doing. These are my opinions. I'm going all in on Tesla, as I have said before, and as I said here in this video. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. This is not a recommendation nor a guarantee that you will make money. If I make money, great. I'm documenting this. If I don't, great. Eventually, will I? Who knows? I'm hoping so. I think the facts and the evidence on the ground for Tesla speaks for itself, and I think is a strong enough argument to make your own financial decision. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And surely if you made it to the end of this video and you're not subscribed, well, right now is a beautiful time to subscribe to the channel. It's like 75 degrees out in Michigan. It's a great time to subscribe. Nonetheless, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.